Hello friends, May Flom here, and you are at my desk. We are scrapbooking, and for this one I wanted to make a quick little video and do this a little more often on my scrapbook pages, just to share tips and suggestions and all of that with you, as well as show you the process. So the process on this one started last night. I picked out these photos of my daughter at Disney World, and she's dressed in the colors of Hei Hei, the little sidekick rooster from Moana. And she is enjoying, while dressed this way, a special treat known as a Hei Hei cone. It's all decorated out in his colors and everything. It's super fun. Obviously, this gets its own scrapbook page. Why? Is it such an important story? Not necessarily, but it is in some ways, because she did up her whole outfit and her pants are actually that color, which is awesome. And it was a special treat. It's a special thing, but here's the thing. Yeah, it's a small story, a small, tiny part of vacation. However, I love the photos and it's going to be super fun to scrapbook. And if I get a little story where that's the case, guess what? I'm scrapbooking it. So this morning as I was drinking my coffee, I started sketching out kind of a concept. You can see here I've got the word hey. Sketches are not necessary, but once in a while, if I have a few minutes or if I've got some blank paper in front of me and I have an idea, sometimes I play with it a little bit just to get an idea of what direction I'm going. So I have my little sketch, and basically I just started pulling out supplies that I thought would work for this. And what I have here, I've got, it's all cardstock, no pattern paper, although this has some pattern to it. It is a cardstock. So I've got some strips of kind of a mustard yellow. I've got that green. This is a wild color palette for me. However, I feel like it's going to be a lot of fun. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just kind of setting up to layer up what I've got here. And I've cut out some, I think they're technically leaf shapes, but I'm calling them feather. And I hand cut some out of this gold specialty paper. Just kind of, and I found this vellum feather in my bin. I go looking is what I do. And I go through my stuff and say, okay, what do I have? What would be cool? I found a little wooden feather. I found these that are really great colors that I thought maybe could work along with some buttons. I found some gold trim that I'm not sure I'll use, but I have. I was kind of looking at either hand stitching or using a ribbon like this along here just for some interesting detail. And of course, those photos of mine will go here. My title will go here. I haven't figured out my journaling yet, but notice this. Nothing is glued down. Nothing is glued down because I do need to figure out, am I going to be computer printing? Am I going to get out a block and put some kind of journaling on here? What exactly am I doing? What is my story? Well, I'd already told you my story, so I won't repeat it, but I have to figure out what words do I have and how long, how much space is that going to take realistically? I don't get super carried away with the design. Now, in this case, the design kind of took over for me. It kind of told itself. But there's a lot of things I can do. I can trim this red paper down. I can actually go over the top with this yellow if I need to make it thin. You know, if I'm trying to make room here or visualize what is this going to look like if this is all scooted over even more to make more journaling room. I am giving myself a moment here before glue ever comes out, and I always do this with my layouts, to figure out the logistics of the entire page. Not just where am I putting my photos, not just what embellishments am I going to use, where's my journaling going, what is my story, how long of a story is it, how do I want to tell it, what do I want to tell it on? These are a lot of questions and it can be kind of overwhelming, but what I like to do is just kind of sit here and play with pulling out embellishments or looking at things I might want to use while I sort it out in my head. Now for the title, I've got some alphabet stickers here that I have painted in gold because I didn't have any gold stickers that I liked. So once this paint dries, I will be able to put my alphabet stickers down and my journaling. And that kind of gives me a moment to not only turn on the camera and talk to you, but sort that out. So camera's gonna go off while I write up my journaling and add it, and I start to glue some stuff down, and then I'll check back in and show you how I'm finishing this up. As you can see, I have been busy at work. So from the time I turned this off until I'm turning it back on right now, it's been a couple hours, to be honest. I had other things to do, but I've also been working here. You can see I've got my title put down here, 2 different fonts, and I added some pen work here and there to add a little bit of detail. I also added some stitching, and now what I'm working on, when I get to this point, and I also did go with computer typed because I had just enough words and I wanted it to be small enough here that I decided it was best to just use the computer. So now I'm using PPA, which is my archival adhesive here, and I'm going to glue down a couple elements. I've got a little wooden feather here and another one of these fun little rhinestone thingies that we'll put right in here. And I put a little hand stitching here. I just went with, I was having fun and adding details, and I went with it. And when you're scrapbooking, to me, really, if you're having some fun and you're finding little details here and there to add, go ahead and go for it. Why not? You can see I added a little bit of star trim right here. I gotta move my buttons out of the way so I can go all the way to the bottom here. So I added a little star trim here. I was kind of thinking about adding a little something over here, a little like a button maybe, something like that, but I hadn't found just the right thing to add. So I've got, this is how I store all my buttons and things, if you're not familiar with my videos. So basically I keep everything in a container like that, not because it needs to be, but just because I find that when I'm looking for stuff, it's usually by color. So I was kind of looking, you know what, I kind of like that right there, but I'm wondering if I should go with a larger sized button, like that. That's a, no, I guess that's about the same. But I was debating just now if I should go with a slightly larger button, because a slightly larger button would, I think that's too big. Yeah, that's just too big. Slightly larger button might be good though. That's pretty much the same. Well, maybe not, or maybe not. Maybe we go, and I keep getting sequins stuck to my finger here because I'm digging around. I think I stick with the smaller button that I originally had. So I'm going to put a little adhesive on there, and I'm going to put it right there where those pictures intersect. And then it's really up to me if I want to add another thing or two. I don't really think I do. I like how those are, and I could, if I wanted, add a few more little bits. Like I've got this. Oh, actually, maybe I think I will add that. So I'll put a little drop. And yes, it is safe to put this adhesive on photos, which is the key reason why you see me use it in my scrapbooks all the time. Okay, so I like that. This glue will dry completely clear, so we don't need to worry about that. I love all the details, all the layers, and yet notice how, because the design of the photos, it's a really clean design. There's cardstock versus busy pattern papers. I've made a very busy layout, but at the same time kept that balance. And I gotta tell you, it's one of my favorites that I've done in quite a while. So I'm very, very happy with this, and I hope you've enjoyed this quick little video look. You can find more on my blog, as well as more thoughts on letting. Actually, on my blog, you'll find an article with pictures of this, but really more focused on letting the pictures dictate the colors and the patterns and the textures that you use. So I had some thoughts on that to add in. So you can find that there. And of course, you can always find me on social media or shoot me an email if you ever have a question or future video request. I'll see you next time.